Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the webinar. My hope is today that you will gain some valuable knowledge of concepts centered on diversity, equity, and inclusion that you can take with you as a current or prospective pro bono advisor that will allow you to better relate to the experiences and backgrounds of your clients and make you a better advisor to them. This is of vital importance in the light of the recent resolution from the CFP board, which recommends CFP professionals commit to a minimum of 20 hours per year of pro bono services. Third Decade is just one of the many organizations that offer opportunity for you all to serve. I hope to introduce some concepts and ideas that you may or may not be familiar with today that will make your service to your pro bono clients that much more rewarding and fruitful for you both. So before we begin, I want to acknowledge that the term diversity, even the term diversity nowadays, has become controversial to some. I, however, believe strongly that we must not only embrace our diversity, but celebrate it. The people we serve come from many different backgrounds, and ensuring that all people have opportunity to advance their financial goals should be of vital importance to us all. I'm the proud executive director of Third Decade. DEI has always been a subject close to my heart, and having been raised in a community with little socio-economic advancement opportunities, I've always believed it is vital to work to open new opportunities for financial advancement for people from diverse backgrounds. That belief has followed me to Third Decade, where I now have the chance to ensure our young adult participants have the tools and guidance they need to begin to change their circumstances immediately. So in addition to our mission to provide financial quality education and mentoring, since our founding, we, just like many other organizations like us, we believe that diversity is of the utmost importance to us. We believe that we must live the idea of diversity and encourage it in all aspects of our work. This includes cultivating a representative board, recruiting staff members who look like our participants, and working to draw in a group of active volunteers like you all that may exceed the general lack of diversity seen throughout the financial services sector.
As your Director of Mentor and Volunteer Engagement, it's important to me that our volunteer culture is welcoming, inclusive, and provides a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, both personally and professionally for you. I'm happy to share with you that Third Decade has completed an updated strategic plan that will guide our actions and policies over the next 3 years. One objective highlighted in the new strategic plan is the intention of increasing our capacity and programmatic offerings to accommodate over 1,000 participants annually. In comparison, previous capacity has afforded approximately 325 participants to access the program annually over the past 2 years. As the number of mentors have increased, so has our capacity. 2023 afforded approximately 658 participants to access the program. We are excited about the goal of 1,000 participants per year and recognize that our efforts to increase our reach to participants across the nation is achievable because of your commitment to volunteer service. This brings us to the second objective, ensuring we have policies, procedures, and active DEI practices, behaviors, and organizational culture in place to value and respect the diversity of our participants, mentors, and employees. The DEI module you are about to experience is our first step in bringing awareness to conscious and unconscious actions that prevent valuing and respecting diversity. Third Decade recognizes there is an extreme lack of diversity in the financial industry. By continuously working to ensure our program, messaging, and more are inclusive to both mentors and participants, we will eventually see the diversity of both groups mirror one another. The next best effort in supporting a culture of valuing and respecting diversity is to increase the awareness of diversity components and integrate practices aimed at developing inclusion and equity behaviors and habits. Individuals are more likely to respond in positive ways when presented with information, guidance, and instructions by individuals who are like them. Whether it's race, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, lifestyle, or other quality. In order to serve diverse young adults, Third Decade needs to have an equally diverse network of mentors. Graphic data completed in the volunteer portal, this currently describes the average Third Decade financial mentor. Our ability to monitor our progress is controlled by the information you submit. You can review your My profile in the portal at any time. You're encouraged to briefly pause this session and update the information you feel comfortable with providing. One of my favorite things about working with volunteers is that the group is undoubtedly composed of a variety of different individuals who are brought together for a single reason, a passion for seeing an organization's mission succeed. Volunteer financial mentors with Third Decade are no different. As we expand volunteer opportunities across the country, we are beginning to see the demographics change. Q3 and Q4 of 2022 began a trend that included more females, younger professionals, emerging talent seeking certifications, all with the focus of changing the financial futures of young adults. I recognize the commitment to our legacy and new volunteers to bringing a portion of the financial industry to a section of the population that is underserved and often overlooked. Thank you for sharing your talents, knowledge, and time.
Why is diversity and representation important to us? I want you to just look at that picture on the left. When I think about our participants, one of our stated goals is to be as inclusive as possible in who we serve. Statistics show that many young adults are financially insecure, and this severely impacts young people of color to a greater extent. We want to serve as diverse a group as we can with what we have come to know as our life-changing mix of education and guidance. Looking at our current participant demographics, you can see why we strive to have a representative pool of volunteer mentors. 63% of our participants are women, and 37% and growing are people of color. We want and need our participants to feel good about our programming and their relationship with our mentors, our volunteer mentors. So that's why today's conversation is important to us at Third Decade, and we hope it's important to you all too. All of our Third Decade volunteers are required to have an understanding of the diversity of our participants and how to have a relatable and culturally competent conversation and interactions with them. As I have shown, we believe strongly that we must meet our participants where they are, and having an understanding of their cultures, differences, backgrounds, and experiences is vital to ensure we can all provide the best service possible. So as a part of today's discussion, I have several key takeaways we hope you learned today to make yourselves not only better pro bono advisors, but better people in our daily lives. First, I want to understand why it's important for pro bono professionals to know and respect DEI concepts. Second, I want you to learn the 5 elements of cultural competency and their importance. Third, we're going to learn about stereotypes and biases and strategies to interrupt them. Fourth, we're going to identify communication styles and actions that may be detrimental to your pro bono clients and how to adjust how we talk. I also want to spend 1 second thanking the team, amazing team at Mentor Greater Milwaukee for their contributions to this presentation and for their partnership in our work. So as we jump into the conversation, we know it's going to be heavy, so I want to level set with a couple things as we get started. I want to level set specifically about the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion. What you see here are the major components in consideration. The ultimate goal is to provide a fair and just environment for all individuals through active inclusion and deliberate creation of access and opportunity. Diversity is the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds, genders, sexual orientations, age, physical disability, and more. Equity and accessibility is the fair and just treatment. It's basically creating fair access, opportunity, and advancement for all people and creating a level playing field. Inclusion is the practice of including people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized. It's basically how well contributions, presence, and perspective of different groups of people are valued and integrated. We are going to touch upon each of these further in a moment, but in a nutshell, when you have a respectful environment that truly values and appreciates the uniqueness of individuals, the result will be a diverse community that allows all who participate in it to thrive and succeed. So how do those concepts relate to the financial services industry, you're asking? Knowing the importance of representation, Third Decade recognizes that there is an extreme lack of diversity in the industry, and I think we all know that. This slide shows some information on the average financial advisor. According to a 2017 study from the CFP board, there are many barriers to people of color entering the profession. For one, due to economic inequality and cultural norms, African Americans and Latinos lack awareness of financial planning and the CFP certification process. I can vouch for that personally, that I did not know a lot about the CFP certification process or just financial planning in general until later in my life. Also, firms' hiring and onboarding practices, including the focus on immediate returns, commission structure, like-to-like-minded mindsets, and subjective hiring criteria as seen as a major barrier to diversity and inclusion throughout the financial services industry and in the financial planning profession. Lastly, clients' bias in choosing a financial partner also functions as a barrier to racial diversity in the industry and the profession. This lack of representation and the overall nature of the business has played a major part in the knowledge held by the financial planning industry not being readily available to a good segment of our population. So we have an industry that isn't diverse, serving a non-diverse population. With this extreme lack of representation in the industry, the question is then, how can we expect to provide high quality service to those who don't resemble, either racially or socioeconomically, those we're used to working with daily? Now take a look at the average Third Decade participant. This is hopefully somewhat representative of the type of person that you all will be working with as pro bono advisors. One thing we have found, and it's no secret, is that individuals are more likely to respond in a positive way when presented with information or guidance and instruction by individuals who look like them or resemble them, whether it's race, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, lifestyle, or any other quality. In order to serve diverse young adults, organizations like Third Decade need to have a diverse network of mentors. And why we're here, short of that, we need mentors from the majority to have a very deep understanding of cultural competency and how to best serve. I'm going to underscore that. If we can't have diverse network of mentors, we need to have mentors from the majority have a deep understanding of cultural competency and how to best serve. We all can play a part in increasing the awareness of and understanding the components of diversity. And we must also work to integrate these practices we are going to discuss today into our companies, the organizations we hope to serve with, and within our daily lives. I'd like to start off by admitting as well that inclusion is hard. It's hard to admit that equity rarely examples in nature. It's hard to admit that creating accessibility takes maximum effort. And yet the resulting diversity brings so much color and to our personal and professional experiences. The dedication to change is 1000% worth it. So even if you think you will not gain anything from the conversation today, I invite you to focus your attention with an open mind and willingness to assess your mentoring qualities. I want you at a minimum today to have a commitment to engaging in self-examination without judgment, as we hope to foster attitudes of respect that will allow you all to build relationships based on trust, integrity, fairness, and respect in your pro bono work. Now let's circle back to the definitions of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Inclusion is essentially ensuring that folks of different backgrounds have a seat at the table and their voices are valued. Some ways this can manifest itself include hearing and respecting folks from different cultures as individuals, not for what they represent. Speaking inclusive language, taking the time to consider the terms that we use to represent individuals and groups, and ensuring they are framed to make all individuals feel fairly represented. Equity and accessibility are vitally important to this discourse, as we must strive to ensure there's a level playing field for all folks in our work, that equality of opportunity is ever present for those we serve. In our work, we can work to create equity and accessibility in the financial services sector by ensuring access to financial education through our volunteering, like you all are going to be doing, creating opportunities for professional guidance, and working with orgs such as Third Decade to provide the tools needed for those we serve to be successful. Lastly, diversity is pulling all these pieces together. We're Voltroning it together. Diversity is ensuring that we have created a practice of deliberately including, and even more than that, inviting and welcoming people from different backgrounds and experiences to participate in opportunities for success. This is what we hope for, and this is what we're striving for in this conversation, that we can reach this diversity with those we serve. So as we jump into our first section, we're going to talk about cultural competency in a moment. We want to make sure that everyone here is committed to this work and understanding that comes with it all. I want to invite everyone to brave space as we approach difficult conversations about race and culture coming up. I want to share with you a poem by Mickey Scott Bay Jones based upon a work by Beth Strano. Together we will create brave space. We believe there's no such thing as safe space. We exist in the real world where we all carry scars and we all have caused wounds. In this brave space, we seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to move truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. It will be our brave space together. We will work on it side by side. I want to again welcome you all today to the brave space for our conversation about DEI today.
We have provided a resource to supplement this module with additional components to keep the conversation going. We are always learning, seeking, and attempting to create positive change. This resource is not intended to be comprehensive or extensive, but rather a primer of materials supporting the development of this module, as well as additional educational items. There are books, articles, videos, podcasts, and more for each learning style preference. Explore these resources in your own time and at your own pace. Thank you again for joining us in this brave space for this important conversation. As Jomar stated, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you again for volunteering.